So yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Movement 6 and welcome to a new video. As a growing habit, I want to have a big shout out to all the guys who subbed this week. Welcome to the channel, welcome to the community, and if you're new here, don't forget to sub. Now, I had tweeted a schedule a few days ago with what I'm going to upload in the coming period. Yes, I am working on one of the best edits of Rainbow Six. It was freaking blast. Shout out to the guys, Damien, Jack, Salty, Mainframe, that is. Big shout out to you guys. Thanks for playing with me and thanks for playing with each other, of course. We have fun almost every night now in Rainbow Six. And yes, I'm working on 2 new productions, finally in the production modus again. And I have a 2-hour promo movement sessions from all the promos I received from fantastic artists around the globe. And I'm going to bring that to you as well. But I couldn't pass this news. And I think it's pretty clear now from the thumbnail on YouTube, and what I've got here is what we're talking about. This is getting way out of hand, and I'm seeing a lot of videos out there, and I've watched a lot of videos, and at first I thought I'm not going to add more stuff to it, but I'm missing a few layers deeper on what's really the core behind a process that's going on for maybe 10 years already, right? It's not something from yesterday. So what we have is, and I'm a company lawyer from background as well, is this lovely young lady, Carrie Hopkins. She's a company lawyer, well, she's the Vice President of Legal and Government Affairs, right? So she's the ultimate decision maker in the legal department of EA. No doubt that she's part of the board, and 99% of the time, legal counselors or company lawyers are there to protect the interest of the company, right? They protect intellectual property, they protect non-disclosure agreements, they protect the contracts with the clients, they also protect the internal compliancy and also at behavior and culture from a legal perspective, which is fine, right? Which is great. That's what they should do, that's what they're there for, and that runs fine. It's a huge use for these intelligence people. But there comes a certain period in time that legal company lawyers are being mistreated, misused, abused, and being forced to do something. And if you just have a look at her, and I'm not here to shame somebody, but she looks pretty tired, right? She looks massively tired, worn out, and I think she understands that her career will wind into a stall because everybody will remember her as the surprise mechanic ladies. Well, surprise, it's not going to work. Because what she's doing here is she's being forced by the board of directors to not protect the company's interest, but protect their interest. Them not being sued, fines that are being handed out by the European Commission or whatever, what have you. They're not there to protect the intellectual property. They're there to protect the revenue, shareholders' wish stream, and all those things. She's being misused. Dear Carrie in the board, you need to come up with shit now so we can continue this process. And she has developed wording, because that's what legal people do, to downplay the meaning of the loot boxes. Loot boxes have a very negative meaning, right? If you think about loot boxes, the first thing that comes into mind is that you're being bent over and taking up the hoo-ha, right? That's what it is. A loot box is not very positive. Star Wars Battlefront showed really what loot boxes are and what they do. So they come up with surprise mechanics. Now, if you do take some time from an intellectual perspective to think about it, so just think about this for a change from an intellectual view. Surprise and mechanics. Well, everything in life is a mechanic. They carry DEA. Everything is a mechanic. The way you get out of bed, the way you're being bullied by your shareholders and by the board of directors, even the way your heart beats, the way your brain works, how your feet walk, everything is a mechanic. Even this camera that is pointing out a signal to that computer over there, and all the equipment I've got laying in front of me is a mechanic. Even buying drugs on the street, even gambling is a mechanic. Even executing criminal activity is a mechanic. And even bullying your clients, your customers, your grab for their money is a mechanic. And even taking drugs on the corner of the street is a surprise. Buying it on the corner of the street is a surprise mechanic, because it's a mechanic, you're buying something, it's a mechanic, you're taking something, and surprise, either you're alive or you don't, or you got a high or you don't. No, it's a surprise mechanic. Everything in life is a mechanic, and so is loot boxes. It's a surprise mechanic indeed, a very negative surprise mechanic indeed. So let's make sure that this surprise mechanics, these wordings, these two words, getting a very negative charge out there, because that's how you play this game. A surprise mechanic is not something fun per se. It can be fun. A surprise mechanic is also the way I got out of bed when it was my birthday and my daughter walked in and she handed me a present. It's a mechanic and it's a surprise and it's fun. Your process is not fun. The process we've seen with third-party developers, and that's also one of the layers deeper I mean. The first-party developers don't have these mechanics. I'm coming to that later. The third-party developers like EA and Activision has built a system, a business model, where they hype up a monkey, they put on a suit, it's a monkey in a suit, it looks good from the first glance, from 4-minute trailer, it looks good, 20-minute gameplay, it looks good, and then we understand what the business model is behind it. It is unfinished game, it is downgraded, it's got monetization, which is not per se bad, but it's got monetization in such a way that you want to come back and back for more. You want to put money in a constant modus. You feel forced to do it because there are two big games, Call of Duty for example and Battlefield. People have peer pressure. 90% of the consumers out there don't even know that these processes are being executed. They don't know carry, they don't know surprise mechanics, they don't know loot boxes. They buy FIFA, they buy Call of Duty, they buy Battlefield for their daughter or for their son for their birthday, and eventually they will say on the schoolyard, I got Call of Duty, so yeah, the other guy is going to bully their parents to buy it as well. Peer pressure. Okay? And that's how these games are being sold. They're not being sold because they have quality, because the people who want quality either stop playing it after a month or now start realizing that we as a consumer need to do something differently. So what they're doing here is to try and hide and cover up. These companies have made a specific strategy to put in monetization, to put in loot boxes, and to have a surprise mechanic in there that you want to put money in on the left, and then you got two outcomes. You got a negative and you got a positive. The negative will make you come back for more because you want the positive. The positive will make you come back for more to get again that positive result you like. Addiction, gambling. That is how the basic structure of gambling works. You tend to give something and then you don't. You tend to give something and then you don't. And then you see someone winning a lot and you want, oh my god, I want it as well. And then you start pouring money in. I'm one of those idiots that bought Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I bought the Black Ops Pass, and I got in return a game that I haven't touched after a month and a half. Because then I understood what the business model was. And that it's an unfinished game. And that the DLC is on the disc or in a download file folder, and that it's just being locked behind a monetization. That's what they do. Now there are some layers deeper here. We as a consumer, I'm not saying that you need to do something, but rethink what you're doing. Rethink where you spend your money on. Rethink it. I'm not going to do it. This is an advice. Rethink it. If the outcome is that you want to keep buying this game, go ahead. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going to sit there and wait for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and maybe I will play it at a friend's house, but I'm not going to invest my money per se anymore in a maybe they've seen the light, right? I don't know. I need to see it. There comes a time in place that companies and people turn around and say, this is not what we want. I'm sorry. We're going to do something. Maybe Modern Warfare is that turning point for Activision. I don't know. EA is not anywhere near that turning point. They are walking in that street that has a very specific end, and that's they're going to lose. They are going to lose eventually. The downside is that they will take a company like Respawn Entertainment with them to their graves, which I think is a shame because that's a different topic, right? So we as a consumer have a responsibility here. Microsoft and Sony also have a responsibility. That's the second layer. They also have a responsibility here. And why? Because they are providing the platforms it runs on. And maybe I need to check, but if I could find a reasoning and a legal responsibility, a legal responsibility that I can point at, but I think they also have a at least a moral responsibility to their clients to say, listen, dear EA, dear Activision, or whomever, I'm taking a stand for my consumers. This needs to change. And they can wash their hands and say in innocence, well, I'm just providing a platform, right? It's not my business. It is. It is your business. You also have a parental lock and kind of processes on a PlayStation and Xbox that can hide content for younger children. So you do have some sensibility and some sense of moral obligations you're building into your systems. So you also have that obligation, dear Sony and Microsoft, to push forward a stand on where we are with these companies, right? You need to force them as well, because this is getting entirely out of control. So we have the consumers and we have the platform owners. Just imagine, I've got you're watching this now. You've got a building or an environment, and you're renting certain parts of that building to either individuals or companies or whatever. They're executing something, business. And at the end of the day, you or somebody else finds out that there is an immoral activity going on there, whether it's fraud or criminal behavior or whatever. A huge portion of the people out there and even governments say this is not, we can't agree with this. Then I or you, who owns the entire platform, owns the entire building, has a moral obligation to take a stand and say to these individuals, either you leave now or you adjust behavior. It's not strange, okay? So the third layer is what you see at the bottom. Call of Duty Modern Warfare nominated for E3 Best Action Game, Best Online Multiplayer from the Game Critics Awards. Well, I think we should skip away critics, because I don't see what they're so critics about. Critics. While we haven't seen a second of actual Call of Duty gameplay, that doesn't mean it's not in a playable state. No shit. No shit. It's not in a playable state. Everybody played the same 25 minutes, and I can imagine that Activision and Infinity Ward has optimized that to make you think that the entire game is in a playable state, which is apparently not. On the contrary, a lot of people have gotten their hands on it, though there's no actual official gameplay. Yeah, you already said that, but a lot of people gotten their hands on it. So if I just take Rainbow Six, it's got 35 million players. That's a lot of people. That amount didn't got their hands on the game. It's just a freaking handful. So, and now they've seemed to impress enough people, all 25 of them, and as Modern Warfare has been nominated for 2 major awards. Yeehaw! Best Action Game and Best Online Multiplayer Award. What? So, you've seen 25 minutes of a pre-rendered game that's optimized the hell out of it, and without any form of criticism, in your critics awards, you say that this is the best action game. You haven't seen the story, you haven't seen the game, you haven't seen shit all. You have seen nothing. You've just seen an extended trailer. And maybe you played some around with it and you were impressed with all the new mechanics in there. And the best online multiplayer. So you've tested the servers. You've stress tested the servers, I believe, or you've just played on one map and did 2 rounds and then you say this is the best online multiplayer? This is also bringing the whole issue to the forefront. These people need to stop giving awards to these companies because they don't earn it. You know when they earn an award if the game is out and about 6 to 7 months after launch, then you can say it. Because to me the best online multiplayer isn't a game that have not been released yet and is surrounded with bullshit. It's Rainbow Six. That's the best online multiplayer. It's different than the rest. It does something different and it's being supported in a fantastic way, and there is no monetization. At least no pay to win systems, no loot boxes. You can earn everything in the game with in-game money. You earn it by playing the game. And I've chosen to take a season pass. Why? Because I'm rewarding the people that are creating this game and maintaining this game and supporting this game. That's why I have a season pass. Why give an award to a company like this, to a game that's not finished and not even out? So guys, these are the layers deeper I'm seeing. Understand where this is coming from a legal perspective from EA, which is not good, which is really not good. This is really a bad signal. We as a consumer have the biggest responsibility of them all. Sony and Microsoft, but that's just my humble opinion, have a moral obligation to take a stand, because this is getting out of control, and these Critics Awards needs to stop giving awards to these kind of games. There's no reason that Modern Warfare should be nominated or granted a best action game and best online multiplayer. This is not justifying anything. Guys, I'm really keen, really keen on understanding what your take is on this impactful topic. So not just leave a like, just give the time to write your opinion on this in the comments below. I'm really keen on it. Subscribe, stay tuned, and as I said in the beginning, there's a huge amount of content coming your way, so have a few days of patience and we will have techno and extreme fun in gaming coming your way, guys. This was Movement 6. Have a great day. Out.